that morning group, they'll calm you down a little bit.
Yeah.
And you'll get focused again. About what's important, and not some stubborn jackass.
Yeah, I'm like, no, you ain't supposed to be turning down the street.
So
like
you can figure out if it was a man or a woman?
No, I couldn't see him.
Okay.
I just went ahead and turned down Deer Lick because I know that, that'll take comes around here.
Yeah.
So, good morning. Happy Friday.
Okay, now.
All right.
See you later.
Have a good one, Mr. Snidey. Have a good walk. Good morning. Happy Friday. This construction. Good morning, Miss Janicia. Happy Friday. Good morning, Miss Sunshine 18. Happy Friday. Good morning, Miss Dana. Happy Friday. This construction on my street got me riled up this morning, y'all. I didn't really have road rage, but these people made me. Good morning, Miss Michelle. Look, the Lord had talked to me. He had to say, Nicole, you got away. You got away. Don't be tripping. Good morning, Miss Carletta. Good morning, Miss Nisa, honey. Happy Friday, ladies. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Miss Carolyn. Hey. It's good to see you. Happy Friday. That's okay. You still here, baby. You still here. Good morning, Miss Donna. Happy Friday. It is good to see your name, Miss Carolyn. Hey. Y'all know they're repaving our street, and so we only have like one main street that everyone has to turn onto in our neighborhood. Good morning, Miss Fashion Plus Style Girl. And so the street is now just one lane, so you have to wait for people to come up or you go back down. So I took Riley to school this morning. So when I was coming back up, I was already on my way back to the house because the lane was clear because you could see the cars, right? You could see the lights. So I get almost to my street, and then somebody just turns out onto the street like we got two lanes. And we sitting there. Then somebody come behind them because they thinking they can't see my car because the car in front. And then it's another car came on the side. They waiting. I'm just like, and the Lord, because I just wanted to sit there, y'all. The Lord said, you could turn on the side street and come back around your street. So I had to turn, but I didn't want to. I told y'all, God's still working on me because they made me mad. Good morning, Miss Malika. Happy Friday. Oh, gosh. These trolls. Happy Friday, y'all. TGIF. It's Friday. We made it. It's an eventful week. It was a very eventful week. But we here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for working on me. I know, even though people have things they say about signs, y'all know, we ain't really supposed to be looking to signs, but some of that stuff be, And I'm an Aries, and we're pretty fiery sometimes. I'm getting better, though. I'm not like I was. Good morning, Miss Naturally Reed. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So today is day 24. But first, let me tell y'all, I finished the first devotional. It is written out. It is very simple, very plain. It's just basically what we do every day. Read the title, the devotion, the Bible verse, the affirmation. the action step in the journal prompt. That's it. But the next devotion, I am going to take some more time. Well, this one took time, but I'm going to take some more time and listen back to my audio. Good morning, Miss Andrea. Good morning, Miss Cassandra. Happy Friday, ladies. And listen back to my audio, to the lives, and put more meat in it, okay? That's going to be on our next one. What I'm going to have to do is when I get off of here, if I'm going to continue to write out the devotional for y'all, when I get off of here, I'm going to have to start like taking notes or listening back as soon as I get off of here or something. So I don't have to be trying to do this all at once. So I'm going to start the Esther devotional now so we can try to get it out next month. But the first one that we did, good morning, Miss Nene. Happy Friday. The first one that we did is done. So when we get off of, oh, no problem. When I hope I didn't delete. Did I delete the wrong person? I hope I ain't. Okay, no, I didn't. As soon as we get off of here, I'll put the link in the description box so y'all could just go to the link, and then I also put it on my Instagram stories and my threads. It'll say, check out, but it's zero. It's zero. The price is zero. Okay, so don't be alarmed if it says the price or whatever. The price should say zero. If it doesn't, let me know. You shouldn't be charged or anything like that. So, good morning, Miss Natarsa. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So we are on day 24, walking in authority. Since Pork Chop didn't come yesterday, I went ahead and finished it, y'all, because I was like, let me get this done. Owning your space with confidence. Okay, so we're going to talk about today being bold. Esther 7:3 is our Bible verse. It says, if I have found favor with you, your majesty, and if it pleases you, grant me my life. And we know that part. This is basically the second banquet where she's telling, the king's like, what's going on? Like, what do you need, baby? That's basically what he's saying. What you need, girl? I got you. So the devotion is, Esther didn't beg or whine. She made her request with poise and authority. Confidence is not loudness or arrogance, which I think we kind of talked about that this week or yesterday. It's the quiet knowing that God is with you. Okay, he goes before you. There's no need for you to worry. There's no need for you to be anxious. You can step into your next position or the path or whatever it is. You can step into that place with confidence. You can step into that space with boldness. It's the quiet knowing that God is with you. Affirmation: I walk in divine confidence, knowing my words and presence carry authority. Our action step is make a bold move today, whether it's speaking up, making a decision, or stepping into a new opportunity. And our journal prompt is, what is one area where you need to step into boldness? Good morning, Miss Patrice. Good morning, Miss DG. Good to see you. Good morning, Miss Monica. Happy Friday, ladies. Happy Friday. So I'm a little crunk from my little... Do people still say crunk? I don't know. I don't care. I'm a little riled up from the little morning drive, but it's okay. So we're going to talk about how you can be bold but still feminine, right? Because God made us that way, right? But he did not make us to be doormats. Being feminine does not mean weakness. We know that. Being soft does not mean that you can't speak up for yourself. It does not mean that you should shrink down for anyone. You should make yourself more palatable for people to be able to digest you, per se. Okay? We're still Christian, and we're still called to, be representation of the Lord, right? And sometimes that's going to mean being bold. That's going to mean speaking up for ourselves. Sometimes it's going to mean speaking up for others, right? So a woman of faith can be bold and still deeply feminine by understanding that true boldness doesn't require harshness. Okay? That does not mean you should be harsh. It requires conviction, clarity, and grace. Boldness flows from your trust in God. And your femininity shines through your gentleness, softness, and your wisdom. Being wise is a part of our femininity, right? God easily gives us wisdom. We can ask for it at any time and he'll give it to us. And that helps us to move about life flowing rather than trying to force things or manipulate or any of those type of things. So, how can you embody bold femininity in Christ? How can you be confident and bold? Speak with courage and kindness, right? Two things can be true at once. You can be courageous. You can, step without fear, but still be kind, right? A feminine woman of faith uses her voice, but she doesn't have to raise it, right? She's not afraid to stand up for what's right, to share truth, or to say no, but she does it with grace and compassion. And we talked about saying no before. I gave y'all a whole thing, and that's why I really have to, when I write out, good morning, Miss Adiola. Happy Friday. Sorry, excuse me. That's why when I write out this one, I really want to listen. So this one might take me a little bit longer because I want to include those things. So, you have that at your disposal. So she speaks boldly, not to be heard, but to honor God and protect what matters. Sometimes, I've said this before, we don't always have to say anything right. One of our ladies commented, silence is golden. It really is, right? And sometimes we don't have to over-explain ourselves, right? Sometimes say less really needs to happen. When you do a lot of talking, your words are less impactful. Okay? When you are running off at the mouth and everybody knows she always talking, she always saying something, they are not likely to listen to you. You want to be that woman that when she speaks, people listen, right? So sometimes that requires us saying less and being more intentional with our words and speaking the way that God calls us to speak, right? Good morning, Miss Nikki. Happy Friday. So speak boldly, not to be heard, but to honor God and protect what matters, right? We're not just saying anything. We're asking God to guide our speech and for him to give us the correct words and for him to give us wisdom in whatever it is that we have to speak about. Proverbs 31:26 says, she opens her mouth with wisdom and the teaching of kindness is on her tongue. Again, we are not here to chastise adults or discipline them. We are here to move and speak and embrace 1 Corinthians 13 and do it in love, right? Everything in love. And I have to remember that. I needed to remember that this morning. Everything in love. That's why I had to just go ahead and turn on that streak. The good Lord was like, girl, turn on that streak. Anyway, boldness is not about volume. It's about value. It's not about being loud. It's about what are you saying? Your voice carries power when it's rooted in purpose. Okay, when you are intentional, when you are speaking words of wisdom, when you are speaking with kindness. Remember, you catch more flies or bees, whichever one it goes, with honey rather than vinegar. Okay. And the femininity, when I was like into learning about femininity, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily, I don't think there's like the commercial femininity. Now we're kind of we are learning about biblical femininity, which is the true feminine selves that God calls us to be, right? But when I was learning about the worldly femininity, they would say lure with honey. You lure with honey, right? You don't come in there just like Esther. She didn't come in there like you knew what was going, like she didn't come in there accusatory or any of those things. She said, grant me my life and my people. That's what I need you to do, sir. She basically gave him the power, which, I mean, he had the power, but she was also queen, right? She had a very big position as well. Not that she could necessarily go against the king, but she could have gave him a fight. You know what I'm saying? That's not how she approached things. And the way that she approached things got things done. Okay? Sometimes we have to put down our weapons, so to speak, and learn how to fight the feminine way, right? And it's not necessarily a fight. but it's, you know, one thing that God has been speaking to me about this week that has been on my mind is quiet influence, right? Those people that influence you, but they don't even know that they influence you, right? You think about them when you make decisions, or you think about them when you do things, right? You want to be that woman that walks with that quiet influence, right? You don't have to do much. If you do say something, people are gonna listen because you listen. You don't be out here just spinning your words like that. Words can be costly, right? We shouldn't be out here just spinning them. Quiet influence, right? I don't know why God has been having me think of that, but that's just what he's been saying. Quiet influence. That's how a biblical feminine woman of faith should be, right? So boldness is not about value. Not about volume, excuse me. It's about value. Your voice carries power when it's rooted in purpose, right? Quiet influence, yeah. It's not pushy. It's not forcing your hand. You are quietly moving about your day, your world, your life, influencing people just how you show up, right? Just how you move, your poise, your confidence, how you carry yourself, right? We know that's like so important as a feminine woman of faith. And so like when you move about from now on, think about am I presenting quiet influence? Am I quietly influencing people to come to the Lord? Or whatever, of course we don't want to be manipulative or whatever, but sometimes our influence is needed, right? In this instance, Esther needed to influence the king to save her life, right? And times will come where we might need to turn someone our way, right? Whether that be our spouse or co-workers or boss or, family or friends or whatever, right? So quiet influence. She stands firm without losing her softness. Being bold doesn't mean being hard. A woman of faith can be firm in her boundaries, right? Enforcing your boundaries, not just talking about them, not just letting people know about them, but actually coming back and saying, hey, I love you, and I would love to continue what we have, whatever that is, friendship, relationship, coworker relationship, whatever. But we don't necessarily tell her, oh, I told some of my coworkers I love them because we were family, right? I worked with these people for a long time. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But basically telling them, hey, you went over this boundary and I can't accept that. When you would like to respect my boundaries, then we can continue, what we have or whatever. So a woman of faith can be firm in her boundaries and convictions while still embodying tenderness and love, okay? She doesn't let others walk over her, but she also doesn't walk over others, right? Listen, the golden rule is in the Bible, it's everywhere. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. It's so funny how we want people to be this way and that way, but then we're not that way, right? We can't be calling people to do all these things and then we're not doing it for ourselves first, right? We're not demonstrating that first. Sometimes we have to go out there and demonstrate, like Miss Cassandra was saying. You have to show people how to treat you, and you show people how to treat you by how you treat yourself and how you treat others, right? If you out here treating people badly and treating yourself badly first and foremost, people are going to follow in line with that. You are going to get what you put out, right? Like I said in the 80s, when we were learning about computers, it was always junk in, junk out, trash in, trash out. One of them. I forget which one was said, but junk in, junk out. If you putting junk in, you're going to get junk out, right? It's only going to give you what you put in. And that's how things work. That's how things work, right? Only the good Lord can just come in here and like give us something, and we've been the way we've been, right? And we ain't God. We are made in his image, but we're not him, right? So she models strength under control. That's what makes her feminine boldness so beautiful. Do you have discipline? Okay. Listen, this morning, I could have got out that car. It could have been what it could have been. But Lord, I'm learning to listen to God. And I turned on the streets and got out the main street so the person could just pass. Because even though it was my turn, I was in the right. It didn't matter, right? I was in the right, they was in the wrong, but both of us still wasn't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We were supposed to still stuck on this street together. So I had to make a decision and get off the street. And it was definitely strength under control because I wanted to get out and start yapping my mouth and be like, listen, you was wrong. But sometimes, thank you, Lord. We got to get out of trying to teach people a lesson, right? That's what I've been saying, right? We got to get out of even telling people that they're wrong. People know when they're wrong. 9 times out of 10, well, I'll say 8 times out of 10, people know when they've done wrong. We don't need to tell them. They know. So don't get caught up in that, is what I'm saying. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-discipline. He's given us a spirit of self-discipline. He's already built that into us, right? And it's for us to take it and keep honing that skill, right? Your softness is not weakness. It is spirit-led strength. Softness is spirit-led strength, meaning you are not out here being hard like the world wants us to be, because they definitely want us to be. They want us to be, for my black sisters in here, they want us to be angry black women. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that we are choosing not to take that path. I am so glad. We are strong, but we have spirit-led strength. We're strong through the spirit of the good Lord, not the world's strength. Yes, Miss Donna, silence is virtue. No, a feminine woman of faith knows who she is in Christ. Bold femininity begins with identity. When you know you are a daughter of the King, you do not shrink when you also do not have to strive, right? You are already royalty, right? You don't see royalty going places, acting a fool, having to demand their way, or any of those things. They just move because they know they're protected, right? They got their Secret Service or whoever royal people, their guards, whoever royal people got. Same thing with us. We got God working on our side, right? We are the King's daughter. We're royalty. We know that He is there for us, that we don't have to act a fool. We don't have to go places and do stuff like that. We can just walk in. And because we are royalty, we'll be treated as such. That's how you know you are growing, when you don't have to prove a point. Let go, let God. Yes. Now, I still kind of wanted to prove my point, but I did. I told y'all, the Lord is still working on me, okay? Good morning, Ms. Giovanna. Happy Friday. Thank you. So, bold femininity begins with identity. Okay, you are the daughter of a king. You are royal. Enter the room with humility. And we talked about humility yesterday. It's not necessarily like humbling yourself in the sense that you are beneath people, but also people are not beneath you, right? Humility is knowing that God is no respecter of person. And just like anybody else, things can happen, good and bad, right? We know that. We know that we can face trials, right? Just like anybody else. So she enters a room with humility and confidence, not to impress, but to impact, right? We want our words, we want our moves, we want the way that we go about life to be impactful, quiet, confident, a quiet influence, remember? Yes, Ms. Donna, I proved by walking away. Well, I wanted to give them some choice words, but I said, you know what? And I also said, I got to come to this Bible study this morning. This devotional this morning. I can't be on here doing this. This is not what they could catch. Listen, when you start living your life a certain way, or at least striving to, because we are not perfect, and I'm definitely not perfect, and I make mistakes. I really think about, like, how can I talk to these people? How can I be an example and I'm over here acting a fool? Like, you really start thinking about that, right? Again, quiet influence. Like, really. Her presence says, I am here because God sent me. I don't need to prove anything. He already approved me. I am here because God sent me. Okay? He sent me. He placed me in this room. Yes, exactly, Miss Cassandra. We get convicted quickly. Everyone is not worth your joy. Absolutely, Miss Donna. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that, because that's absolutely true. God sent me. God placed me in this room. I don't have to prove anything to anyone, right? God has led me to do this devotional and to keep going. It's not for me to prove anything to anyone that I'm anointed or whatever. I don't even know about that kind of stuff. Like, I'm not a person that is necessarily religious, and no, I'm learning, I'm relearning a lot of things, because even though I grew up somewhat in the church and I went to church, it's still a lot of things I don't know or understand. I just know I love God. I know I want to connect with Him. I know I want to be our femininity is already built in us, and I want to nurture that femininity within me the right way, not the world's way, but God's way. And that's the thing that I know. And I know that He's placed me here. And when I think about, like, when I was thinking about earlier this week not doing this anymore, I think about y'all ladies. Like, I was like, no, we got a community. You know what I'm saying? We got a community. And I'm not finna just leave the community. We got a sisterhood. I'm not finna just leave, I'm gonna do my best. That's all I can do, is my best, right? And I feel like every day I show up and I try to do my best. So I don't have to prove that to anyone. God said, do your best, and that's what I do. So Esther 4:14 says, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this. We have heard that over and over again, but that's really, God has placed us right here, right now, for whatever reason, right? To learn whatever it is that we need to do to make it through to the next level, right? Together. Thank you, Miss Carolyn. And He placed you. Yes, Miss Adiola. Thank you. Yes, exactly. So even though we've repeated this verse over and over again, it's so meaningful. It's so meaningful. God has placed us right here for such a time as this. We need this, especially with the way that the world is going. I need y'all, all right? I need this community. I need the sisterhood. I need this connection with God. I need this devotional. Again, it helps me in every way. It helped me this morning, right? So, boldness is walking in your God-given identity fully, freely, and fearlessly. Thank you, Ms. Donna. Boldness is walking in your God-given identity fully, freely, fearlessly. So a feminine woman of faith leans on the Holy Spirit, not her ego. Ooh, Lord. That's a good one. Our ego means us no good. Our ego is to protect us, but it also gets us in trouble, right? Her boldness is spirit-led, not self-led. Speak and move when God leads, not to make a name for yourself. Not to make a name for yourself, but where God leads you, right? It's not about our validation from the world. It's not about recognition. Truth be told, we are a very small community, and I don't care. I share. I invite people to come and do the devotional with us, but I don't force anything. Like, I don't be on there. If you notice, every day I am not promoting that. Maybe once a week I will say, hey, we do a devotional on YouTube Live, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, Monday through Friday. Otherwise, you'll just see me posting a devotional. I hope that I invite people in and that they want to come in and stay, right? Not I'm forcing people to stay, not I'm pushing stuff down people's throat. Because when stuff is pushed down your throat, it don't stay, right? You end up regurgitating it. Girl, yes, we need to start our day in this world we live today. Absolutely. Hey, Miss My Therapy is playing, baby, right on time. Good morning, Miss NKO. So yeah, I don't. It's not about me. And before y'all know my prayer, whatever I come on here, is none of me, Lord, all of you. Because as you can tell, I am imperfect. I am still learning. Right, I am learning right along with y'all, ladies. It is not me teaching y'all. It is us sharing with each other. That's how I like to think of it. So. We are not self-led. We are led by God. We are not out here trying to validate what we are doing. We are doing what God tells us to do, and we are moving as such, right? A feminine woman of faith is sensitive to God's voice, even when it calls her out of her comfort zone. Definitely out of my comfort zone doing this. I love talking to people, but I do have some fear and some anxiety because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Like, I don't want to represent God, in the wrong way, right? But I also have to understand that I'm a human being, and all I can do is my best, right? Sensitivity to God's voice. It's funny because for a long time growing up, I would read, well, not growing up, but in my 20s and 30s, I would read books about hearing God's voice. Like, how can I hear God's voice? I always wanted to hear God's voice, but you know what? God's voice is different, right? Sometimes it's just that inkling, like this morning, girl, go get on. Girl, you can turn on this street. That is God speaking to me, telling me, don't get out that car. Don't do what you know you're not supposed to do and turn on the street. I've made a way. And basically that's what I heard. I made a way. So so this is my street, and this is the street that I was on. I was waiting at this street for this car. My street was just the next street over, but the street that I was waiting at, if you go down that street, it's not a cul-de-sac, it's a curve, and it'll turn right into my street. Okay. And God was like, I made a way for you to get home, girl. You all right. Sometimes we have to put our ego out the way. Sometimes that calls for us to be quiet and listen. And sometimes he doesn't speak to us right away. Sometimes he speaks to us through other people. Just understand that it is not one thing, right? And that's how you become sensitive to God's voice. Just understand that it is not just one thing. Okay, you too, Miss Carolyn. I'm glad to see you. Who needs to be here is here. Absolutely. The invitation has been extended, but a choice to accept the invitation. I've accepted Christ into my life. The best choice I ever made. Absolutely, Miss Cassandra. So that's kind of how I have learned to hear God's voice, be sensitive to his voice. Just being quiet. Sometimes his voice is built into we know right from wrong, right? Sometimes that's him speaking to us, telling you, you're wrong. You shouldn't do that. Anyway, she may feel fear, but she chooses faith. We choose faith over fear, right? We choose to walk boldly instead of shrinking back, right? We choose faith over fear. Luke 1:38 says, I am the Lord's servant. Mary answered, may your word to me be fulfilled. So boldness is not the absence of fear, because it can still be there, right? But it is the obedience in the face of it. It is still doing the thing. I think Joyce Meyer wrote a book. My mom she still is, but she really was back in the day a big Joyce Meyer fan. And I believe Joyce Meyer had a little booklet, and it was called Do It Afraid. Do it afraid. And she was talking about being obedient to God, moving, being bold, even though there's fear there, right? Sometimes we have to learn to do it afraid. A feminine woman of faith carries herself with elegance and conviction. She doesn't have to become aggressive to be effective. Okay? She moves with dignity, softness, and strength. We don't have to be loud. We don't have to be boisterous. We don't have to be mean and shout and use profanity in any of those things to get our point across. You got the book and the workbook from her. Yeah, I remember that book. Good morning, Miss Fashion by Faith with Aluma. How are you? It's good to see you. Happy Friday. I'm seeing everybody this morning. I'm glad y'all are here. It is, we do not have to be aggressive to be effective. Remember, quiet influence. Quiet influence. Thank you for that word, Lord. Move with dignity, softness, and strength. Okay? And we know that our strength is spirit-led strength, right? We are strong through the Lord Jesus Christ, not how the world wants us to be strong, right? The world kind of wants you to take anything. God doesn't say for you to be a whipping boy or girl or however you want to say that, right? That's not what he's saying. We still have to move boldly. We still sometimes have to step out of our comfort zone. We still have to enforce our boundaries, right? All of those things. But we can do that with kindness. We can do that with compassion. We can do that with gentleness. Both can be true, right? At the same time, both can work. Style, posture, tone, and your spirit reflect your feminine beauty, while your words, boundaries, and choices reflect your bold faith. Okay? Understand that elegance is power wrapped in grace. Elegance is that thing that women want to be. You know, I want to be elegant. I want to step into the room and I want people's heads to turn, right? And in a way, we as women, feminine women of faith, we definitely we want to make that impact just from us being there, right? But that is also powerful. That is also grace, moving with grace. When you see people who have been wronged, or that they're being wronged in a situation, and they still show up and they're sweet and they're kind and they don't raise their voice and they keep their cool, aren't you always in awe of them? You're like, man, if I was in that situation, I'd have did so and so, so and so. And they're like, no, I'm not. And they like just walk away, right? There's admiration in that. There's power in that. You're like, dang, how can they do that? Like, how can you be like that, right? And you want to be like that. Like, you don't want to have to act a fool to get your point across. Like, that's not what God called us to do. He's the power. He's the muscle, right? He's the muscle. We don't have to worry about those things, right? Listen, I remember we went to the rodeo, right? And I was thinking to myself, I like going places with my husband because I ain't got to worry about nothing. I don't got to worry about the directions, driving, tussling with people, money, none of those things, right? And, I went to the rodeo with my daughter and Sheena, right? And I'm like, dang, this is why I go places with my husband, because he's the muscle. Well, you don't need a husband, right? You don't need a husband. You need a husband if that's what you want. But y'all know what I'm saying. To move through this world, God is your muscle. God is your muscle, okay? He's your bodyguard. He's the guy in the background. He's like Beyonce and Julius, okay? If you know, you know. Y'all see how Beyonce moves? She don't be worried about nothing because she knows she got Julius right there. People not gonna mess with big old Julius. That's the same thing as feminine women of faith. We don't have to worry about it, right? We can move, we can be soft, we can be pretty, we can do all of those things because the muscle, we know the muscle right here, baby. He the biggest muscle, okay? We ain't even got to worry. I have to remind myself to reject how the modern world seems to demonize humility and meekness. Yes, you hear a lot now. Don't be you humble and da-da-da-da. Now, I think they've twisted that, right? It simply means that you understand that God is no respecter of person, right? You understand that things can happen good and bad. to anyone. I think that that's not what the world tries to show us. They paint being meek as being weak, and that we know that that's not the same thing. Good morning, Miss Melanin Queen Shani. How are you? Happy Friday. Good to see you. Good to see you. But yeah, we got the muscle. The muscle, we got the biggest muscle. We got our own Julius. We ain't got to worry. We ain't got to worry, right? Your elegance is power wrapped in grace. You being elegant is walking boldly, knowing that the muscle is with you, God is with you, and you can walk on through here. You could be your best, your prettiest self, right? Absolutely, Miss Cassandra. Colossians 3:12 says, clothe yourselves. I love this. Clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. So when we are getting ready in the morning, those are the things that we should be clothing ourselves with as well. When we put on our makeup and our clothing and our skincare and all the things, remember to clothe yourself in those attributes as well. Compassion, definitely we have to practice compassion, especially during this time. We have to realize that we don't understand what people are going through. Y'all know Kanye West on here acting a fool, okay, right now. But that man is hurting. He is going through something. And even though I don't like some of the things, I don't like any of the things he has said, at the same time, I'm praying for him. Like, Lord, whatever it is he's going through, because he's definitely going through something, help him, Jesus. Help him. People may take your kindness, meekness for weakness, not knowing you have the muscle walking quietly by your side, right? It's plenty of times, you know what they call it, people playing in your face. They trying to play in your face, not knowing you are the king's daughter, okay? You're royalty. I think a lot of humbleness is, and a lot of meekness, but not weakness, is realizing that, yes, we are royalty. Yes, we are God's daughter, but the people that we're dealing with are God's children too, right? The person in that car this morning, they were God's child too. It ain't just me. He got a bunch of kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's my sister or brother in Christ, right? And sometimes we got to take it down a notch and realize that too. This person is God's child as well, you know? And I don't want people to treat God's children wrong, so I ain't going to do the same thing. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to really genuinely ask God for whatever it is that you need for him to give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I miss my hubby, but God has never left me, and he has shown up for me. I'm so thankful. Hey, man, when I didn't have a husband, baby, God was, listen, y'all already know I wouldn't be here. God was really watching out for me. He has continuously watched out for me. That's why I'm here right now, sharing and connecting with him and y'all, because he kept me. And I know he kept me for a reason. Good morning, Miss Sherry. Happy Friday. God was on their side, saving them from you. Absolutely, Miss Donna. Absolutely. So we have to remember they're God's children too, right? That comes into showing compassion. I was watching Facebook yesterday, and there's a video, I don't know if it's going around, but there's a video of this girl. She's at Walmart and she's acting a fool, you know, and she doesn't have basically any clothes on, and she definitely needs to have some clothes on, but you know, she's down on the ground and everybody's like, oh my God. And you know, they're arresting her because she's going through Walmart assaulting people, which is wrong. And you know, you look at all that outward stuff, but God calls us to look inner and say, dang, you know, what is wrong? Like, to have compassion and think, like, what is going on in it? Like, what is making you that angry? What are you going through that's making you that angry that you have to go through Walmart and assault innocent people? Right? Y'all ever seen that movie, The Shack? If you've never seen that movie, I think it's called The Shack. If you've ever seen that movie, The Shack, if you have not seen it, watch it. I have to watch The Forge. I heard that was good as well. But The Shack, when I say cried the whole movie because it really has you. It really focuses on the principle of forgiveness and understanding that even though people may do bad things, they're still God's children. Oh my God. Oh my. Watch that movie. If you haven't, I think it's called, I believe, in fact, let me not lie on myself. They're both good, Miss Ashley. Yeah. I heard, you know what? I'm going to make it a point to watch, now where is my internet? Oh, crap. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to make it a point to watch, The Forge this coming week. I think Octavia, what's her name? Octavia Spencer. I always want to say Butler. Yeah, The Shack. Octavia Spencer is in it, and Tim McGraw. Really good movie. Really good movie. It's 2017. Baby, when I say, whoo, honey, that will really have you thinking about things. I love good Christian movies like that. I'm learning how to read, like, not learning how to read. Y'all know I know how to read, but I am starting to read Christian fiction books. You know, sometimes we have to be careful of what we take in, right? I don't watch certain things. I don't watch scary movies. I don't play like that, okay? Because I know me being kind of an empath, that will enter my spirit, and I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't watch certain things. I don't watch a lot of news. Only time I really watch the news is my father-in-law. He watches a lot of the news, and so sometimes I'll catch it when I'm in here with him. But I am very careful about what I intake into my eyes and mouth and ears, because that goes into your spirit. So just a word, be mindful of that. Yeah, a woman who is gentle in spirit but fierce in faith is unforgettable. Like we were saying, those women that walk with quiet influence, they're unforgettable. Like, there are those ladies that show up and you're like, man, I'm gonna just go and get it. you over there clicking. You just like, where's the link, girl? I want it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Where's the link? I'm gonna just go and get it, girl. I want it. You got it. I want it. That's that woman showing up with quiet influence, and I don't mean that like in a worldly way. Of course, you know that happens as well, but that's how we should be. You know, showing the God in us, right? Click the link. I mean, where's the link, girl? Where's the link? I just need the link. Don't even. You ain't even gotta say too much. You ain't even gotta say too much. That's how we're called to be, right? A woman of faith, a feminine woman of faith, can be bold in her convictions, feminine in her expression, gentle in her spirit, fearless in her obedience. You're so right, Nicole. Certain things I no longer want to watch or read. No, I don't. There's certain things I'm just not gonna take in because I realize how they affect me. Like, really pay attention. When you have a trigger or when you have something come up or you feel a certain way, really pay attention and really backtrack and think, like, what made me feel this way? Why am I thinking like this? Oh, is it because you saw something and now you think that that's going to happen to you? Because that it easily happens. Listen, what we see on TV in all of these places, the radio, all those places, a lot of times that's worldly stuff, and we can't let it enter our heart gate, which is our mind gate, our ear gate, our eye gate, our mouth gate, all of those things, right? So a feminine woman of faith can be bold in her convictions, feminine in her expression, gentle in her spirit, fearless in her obedience. She doesn't have to choose between being bold or beautiful, strong or soft. She is all of it, right? Because she is walking in God's design. So let's reread the devotional. We are on day 24. Walking in authority, owning your space with confidence. Esther 7:3 says, and now you know what? I didn't read it, Let me read it right quick from the Bible, because y'all know this kind of be paraphrased. Esther 7:3 says, Queen Esther replied, if I have found favor with the king, and it pleases the king to grant my request, I ask that my life and the lives of my people will be spared. Y'all saw how she asked for that? She was bold because it was just being bold, asking the king for what she wanted, even if he asked her, right? But she wasn't defensive. You know, her words were like honey. Her words were like honey. She said, if I have found favor with you, if you want to, if you would like to make me happy, right? If you would like to grant my request. That's what she said, right? She invited him in. She was warm. All of those things, right? Esther didn't beg or whine. She made her request with poise and authority. Confidence is not loudness or arrogance. It's the quiet knowing that God is with you. God is with you. So you can show up where you need to show up. And you ain't got to fight. You ain't got to validate nothing. None of those things, because the muscle is with you, right? Our affirmation is, I walk in divine confidence, knowing my words and presence carry authority. Impactful, right? Gentle influence, right? Our action step is make a bold move today, whether it's speaking up for yourself or someone else, making a decision. And when we say speaking up for ourselves, that doesn't necessarily mean fighting a fight, right? That means that maybe you're in a meeting and you never say anything, but you have an opinion. You got some input, and speaking up and saying that and knowing that God is with you, right? And that what you're about to say is impactful and people are going to listen. You're going to be heard. That's sometimes what speaking up is. Making a decision or stepping into a new opportunity. Our journal prompt is, what is one area where you need to step into boldness? When I refuse to listen and watch certain stuff, I don't want to be reminded of mess. Absolutely. Listen, this world is very messy. It's very, very messy. I just don't. It's a lot of things that I used to, like I said, like the gossip stuff. I don't pretty much see that. Like, I only knew about the Kanye West thing because I heard it on the radio because I was driving somewhere yesterday. And they were talking about, and basically what the DJ was talking about was, should we be canceling Kanye West or should we be showing compassion? And of course, a lot of people said, we should show compassion, right? Because obviously he's hurting really badly. So I pray for him. That's sad. You mature when you get to the point where it's like, man, that's sad. Like, it's not just anger anymore. You really genuinely sad for people, and that they're fighting a fight that they're not winning right now, and you do want them to win. You want to see everybody win. Absolutely nothing positive. Nothing. I have, like Miss Cassandra said earlier, the conviction comes on me when I do certain things. When I look at certain things, I be like, girl, now you know better. And that's the voice of God talking to you. We know better sometimes. I think he's hurting since he lost his mom. Yeah, but he can't keep, that's the thing. We all experience losses, right? Some great, some small. We can't be using that to make an excuse for our behavior, right? We show compassion because losing your mom is a big thing. Even though me and my mom aren't always on the best of terms, I love her, and if I lost her, I would be deeply, deeply hurt. But I can't use that as basically a weapon to hurt other people, right? And that's what I sometimes feel like he's doing. He's using the loss of his mom as a weapon. He's weaponizing it and saying, well, I'm hurting from losing my mom, and so that's why I'm saying this. Well, no, you're still also an adult. You make adult decisions every day. And sometimes we have to treat you as such. Sometimes we can be like, come here, you need a hug. But sometimes, we got to let the chips fall where they may. We got to let the chips fall where they may. That is natural consequences. And again, people do things and we didn't necessarily, all that stuff that Kanye West said in the past, and I'm only using him as an example. Like I said, I pray for him. I know that he's hurting. And I ask God to help him and heal his hurt. However, again, he can't use that as a weapon to hurt other people, right? He made his bed. All that stuff he said about slavery being a choice and, some of the things he's done and said. Natural consequences are showing up now, where to the fact that no one wants to really fool with him. His ex-wife, she don't really want to fool with him, and she don't want her kids. And I can't be mad at the lady for that. I'm not mad at the lady for wanting to protect her children from somebody who seems very irrational. So, yeah. Natural consequences, they happen. They are true. They are true. You ain't got to do nothing. Listen, let me tell y'all, you ain't got to do nothing. You, of course, like I said, enforce your boundaries. Let people know in kindness and compassion and gentleness and kindness and love that you are enforcing your boundaries. You are not letting that person run over you, because we are not called to be doormats. But at the same time, you ain't got to punish them either, because the good Lord's punishment is nothing like ours. God, he be putting a whooping on people that we cannot save them from. And sometimes the people that walk with you that should not be walking with you are only protected because they're walking with you, right? When they no longer are walking with you, God got to do what he got to do. And I ain't saying God out here whooping people behinds and stuff like that, but he's protecting them from certain trials and tribulations because of you, because they're walking with you. And when you finally let them go, because you know that they're holding you back, because some of those blessings they can't walk into with you, you don't even got to do nothing. You know that they've wronged you, they've done certain things, but you let it go, you let it go. And then finally you're like, listen, I love you, but we can't continue this relationship until you get things right. The door is open for reconciliation with boundaries at another point. But right now, we need to go our separate ways. And then you see all double H-E double hockey sticks hell. This is the hell, you see all of that break loose. And you're like, dang, I saw it. I've seen it. I've lived it. So anyway, yes, our world doesn't need much prayer. And, we can definitely pray. But I love y'all ladies. I pray that I pray and intend for y'all to have an amazing, restful, relaxed weekend. Oh, yes. This weekend, I am going to see Kev on stage. He is so funny to me. And, he does like clean comedy. Some of that stuff don't be clean, though. He be getting a little raunchy sometimes, but, we human. But, I absolutely have been watching him for years, and I heard he was coming to Houston yesterday, and I told my husband, I was like, Kev on stage is coming to Houston. Y'all know I watch Paradise. Well, he would do like a recap of Paradise on his YouTube channel, and it was really, really good and really entertaining, and I would send it to my husband. So I was like, Kev on stage is coming. And he was like, well, I'm not going to be there this weekend because my husband will be coming back home soon. I'll share some news with y'all. I know, he is so funny. My husband he got a promotion. This is his second promotion since we've been married, since we've been together, since we met. And so he won't be traveling as much. He will be here a lot more often. He will have to travel some, but not extensively like he does now. So your girl's going to be like a real married woman. I'm gonna be like a real married woman. Like he's gonna be here. I haven't really shared that with anyone. But yeah, he'll be coming home. He's super, super excited because he's been traveling with his job for the last 7 years. So he is excited to come home. Our children are getting older. He wants to be more involved. He said he wants to be really married. He wants to be a husband. Not that he's not a husband, y'all, but y'all know what he means. So, yes. Thank you. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm excited. I'm a little nervous, right? Because we haven't really lived together like that. So there's going to be some bumps, I expect, but we'll get through it. We love each other. But yeah, but he got me tickets to see Kev on stage. So me and Sheena are going to go tomorrow. He's like, I won't be here, but baby, you can go. So the favor of a man who findeth a good thing. Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Naturally Ree. Yeah, so y'all have an amazing weekend. When I close this out, in the description box, I will put the link to the devotion. Again, it's very simple. Okay, it's not like what we talk about. So a good thing to do is when you're studying, you can turn on the live and kind of listen from there. The first lives were really short, but now we've kind of extended them, which I really, really enjoy. And so I thank y'all ladies. But I'll put it in there. So y'all have an amazing, share it with people. It's free. Share it with someone that may need it. Thank y'all ladies. I love y'all. I pray and intend that y'all have an amazing weekend. And I will see y'all on Monday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Get some rest this weekend. Do some self-care. Do something joyful. Y'all, I've been practicing my hand lettering. I stayed up late last night practicing my hand lettering. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to write some notes to people. So anyway, I have to show y'all that on Monday. All right, y'all. Love y'all. Have an amazing weekend. Bye.